Okay, let me ask you something right off the bat. Do you ever just wake up, grab your phone, check your messages, take the exact same route to work, and have the exact same conversations with the exact same people that make you feel the exact same way? And then you come home, scroll through shorts or reels, go to sleep, and literally do it all over again? Does your daily routine feel like an inescapable, pre-programmed loop? If it feels like you're running on this automatic pilot that you just can't seem to turn off, hey, you're definitely not alone here. In fact, there is a really deep neurological reason for this.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating breakdown of subconscious programming. We're going to dive straight into source material that reveals how elite performers, specifically looking at the incredible transformation of cricketer Virat Kohli, literally rewrote their internal software to achieve greatness. If you've ever felt stuck in a loop and wanted to just break free, well, you're absolutely in the right place. We're going to learn exactly how to access your mind's underlying code.
Think of today's agenda as a quick system diagnostic. We'll be mapping out the journey together, starting with your autopilot life, moving on to the subconscious mind battle, then rewriting your source code, connecting thoughts, feelings, and action, and finally wrapping things up with proof through small steps.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, your autopilot life. You know, according to the source material, our daily routines, from the thoughts we have to the route we commute, right down to the content we consume, they act exactly like a rigid computer program. You might think you're making conscious choices throughout your day, but actually, you aren't doing anything voluntarily. It's kind of crazy, but everything is just happening automatically, based on pre-written code. And this autopilot trap doesn't just catch everyday people. It affects elite athletes too. Back in 2012, cricket superstar Virat Kohli was stuck in this exact same loop. He actually admitted that despite playing for the national team, his eating and fitness habits were just terrible. He had zero discipline. He looks back at that 2012 version of himself and says, "I can't believe that was me." He was totally caught in an autopilot cycle of mediocrity, producing average seasons and just no major success. So why the struggle? That brings us to section 2, the subconscious mind battle. Why couldn't he just snap his fingers and change? I mean, why can't we? Well, drawing on the work of neuroscientist Dr. Joe Dispenza, our source points out something mind-blowing. By the time we reach the age of 35, a massive 95% of our behavior is completely subconscious. 95%. It's this heavily programmed mix of beliefs, attitudes, emotional reactions, and unconscious habits. The remaining, tiny 5%, that's your conscious mind. That's the part of you that wakes up and says, I want to be healthy, I want to learn a new skill, I want to be free. But every single day, your tiny 5% conscious desire goes to full-on war against your massive 95% subconscious programming. And here is the absolutely crucial takeaway. You lose that war every single day. That's exactly why you tell yourself, oh, I'll start on Monday, or I'll change on the first of the month. And then nothing ever happens. The source is crystal clear on this point. You have to stop fighting the 95%. You cannot win. You aren't in the driving seat. Your subconscious program is. If the enemy is fundamentally that much stronger than you, fighting them head-on basically just guarantees defeat. If you can't fight it, what's the game plan? Well, that is section 3, rewriting your source code. So the alternative to battling your subconscious is actually befriending it. You have to hack into the system and change the underlying instructions so that the massive power of your subconscious mind actually starts working for you rather than against you. Let's look at how Kohli initiated his hard reset. After coming home from that super disappointing 2012 season, he went out, bowled 100 overs, completely exhausted himself, and then literally just looked in the mirror. He felt this visceral, undeniable sense of disgust. He told himself, "You are part of the Indian international cricket team. This cannot go on." That intense, highly emotional breaking point, that was the exact moment he decided to stop accepting his old programming. He laid down a firm foundation to rewrite his software right then and there. But here's the catch. To change the code, you have to understand the language it's written in. The source shares this incredibly powerful perspective from Bruce Lee. He said, our words are energy, and they literally cast spells, which, when you think about it, is exactly why it's called spelling. Makes sense, right? If you continually tell yourself, oh, I'm weak at studies, I can't wake up early, or earning money is just too hard, your brain accepts those negative spells as absolute truth. Constant repetition from your environment, combined with your own negative self-talk, physically conditions your brain, writing the very software that limits your life. Which leads us perfectly into section 4, thoughts, feelings, and action.
Knowing you need to change how you talk to yourself is one thing, right? But how do you actually make your body believe it? The core distinction here is how our mind and body communicate. Our brain's language is thoughts, but our body's language, that's feelings. You can try to convince your mind with logical thoughts all day long, but if your body doesn't feel it emotionally, nothing is going to change. The source uses a brilliant analogy for this. Imagine seeing this incredibly tasty plate of food, but your stomach is completely stuffed. Your brain logically registers that it's delicious, sure, but your body feels absolutely no hunger, so you don't take action to eat it. Unemotional visualization is basically useless. To truly rewrite the code, you must emotionally feel the reality of what you want.
Let's look at how Coley actually applied this formula during the 2014 tour of Australia. He didn't just logically think about playing well. No, he visualized himself dominating the bowlers. And way more importantly, he emotionally felt the success beforehand. He felt the reality of those hits in his physical body before ever stepping onto the field. And because his mind registered the emotion so convincingly, when he finally got on the pitch, his body simply took over automatically. He didn't even have to force it. His new software was basically running the whole show.
Okay, let's bring it all home with Section 5, Proof Through Small Steps. To make this reprogramming stick permanently, your subconscious needs actual, actionable proof. You can't just sit on the couch feeling successful, you know? You have to validate the new code in the real world. The very first step of providing that proof is upgrading those daily spells. You must actively replace negative defaults with positive, believable affirmations. If your default program says, I am lazy, you gotta replace it with I am hardworking, or I am disciplined. If it says I am depressed, swap it to I am happy and confident. But the source gives a really important warning here. These affirmations cannot be so overly exaggerated that your brain just rejects them as straight-up lies. They have to be believable enough that you can deeply emotionally connect with them when you say them out loud or write them down.
So how do we actually do this? Here are the practical steps to fuel your new self-talk and prove to your body that the programming is real. First up, choose that believable positive self-talk. Second, you gotta take micro-actions. If you tell yourself I am disciplined, prove it by breaking your goals down into tiny, manageable chunks. Like, do just a 25-minute study block instead of attempting some massive, intimidating 4-hour session. And third, pull from your past minor successes as evidence. Remind your brain, hey, I woke up early that one time, or I passed that test before. Use those small past wins to completely validate your new identity today.
81. Just let that number sink in for a second. That is the staggering number of international centuries Virat Kohli has racked up to date. After he hit his 8th century, he consciously told himself with absolute, unwavering belief, if I can hit 8, I am good enough to keep doing this. He paired that positive emotional self-talk with incredibly rigorous diet and fitness discipline. We're talking no junk food, no cheat days, 2 hours in the gym every single day. The proof, as they say, is right there in the results. But listen, you absolutely do not have to be a world-class athlete to use this stuff. The creator of our source material shared this really cool personal anecdote. He was a natural night owl, really struggling to wake up before 8 a.m., but he wanted to become a 5:30 a.m. runner. So he just started repeatedly declaring this intention, making sure to genuinely feel the emotion of waking up early right before going to sleep. And it worked. Even on a night he went to bed late, that internal programming had locked in so deeply that he naturally woke up at 5:30 a.m. and went for his run anyway. He shifted his identity completely just by rewriting his code.
So here we are, the ultimate question for you. What specific piece of your source code are you going to rewrite starting tomorrow morning? The source throws down a really powerful challenge. Take these steps, write down your new emotional affirmations, and take micro actions for just 7 to 21 days. Seriously, don't let your old 95% programming keep you stuck in a mediocre loop. Stop fighting it, befriend it, and install the upgrade. I really hope this explainer has equipped you with the tools you need to finally take the wheel. Go out there and start rewriting your code.